You are in your room. Let's say you have a ball, you're holding a ball, and then you bounce the ball on the floor. What do you think will happen? This ball will goes up, obviously to the ceiling, right? It will hit the ceiling, and as soon as it hits the ceiling, all you could see is the ball coming down, right? Please take note of this. So let's have a quick illustration here. Let's say let me use green color. Let's say this is the floor, right, of your room, and also the ceiling of your room here. So you are holding a ball, right, and then you bounce this ball on the floor or on the ground in your room. All you will see is your ball going up, right? And the moment the ball hits the ceiling, it starts coming down back to the floor. We have a similar scenario just like this in the financial markets. And when it does happens, right, we call them support and resistance. Please, this topic we are going to discuss today is one of the fundamental concepts that every trader must know. So you have to follow the lesson with rapt attention so that you don't get lost out. Today we are going to look at support and resistance. This is just the introduction. There is more to support and resistance. So after today's lesson, I expect you to have a clear idea of what we mean by support or resistance on the price charts. I also expect you to identify or distinguish between a minor and a major support or resistance. Right. Not only that, I also expect you to be able to identify support and resistance levels in any given price chart, provided you are given one. Without much ado, this is Smart Money AI. On my channel, I mostly create videos or content on how you can make money online, and anyone out there will bear me witness that making money online, you can't do away with forex trading or trading the financial market. Hence, I put the burden on myself to take you through all that you will need to make you a profitable trader in the forex trade market. So if you come to my channel, there are lots of content here, like how to calculate stop loss, types of orders, stop loss, blah blah blah. Anything you have to know as a beginner in the financial market will be tackled on my sexy channel here. So let's get back to our lesson. So as I was preparing this lesson, I found this very simple definition for support and resistance, which I would like to share with you even before we start. I got this from forex.com, right? So on their site, this is what I got for support. So in a layman's theory, or in the layman's term, what is a support? Should we open the chart now? What is a support? They said support occurs when price, oh my god, I've made a mistake. All right, so what is a support? And this is what we got. Support occurs when falling prices stop, change direction, and begin to rise. Support is often viewed as floor, which is supporting or holding up prices. Let's take it again. Support occurs when falling prices stop. The underlying word here is falling prices. When the falling prices stop, change direction. So the price was falling, it stopped, and then it changed direction. So where do we think it was heading to? It was heading to the downside because it was falling. It stopped and it changed direction to the upside, right? So support is often viewed as floor, which is supporting or holding up prices. Now let's go to resistance. Resistance is a price level where rising prices stop, change direction, and begin to fall. Resistance is often viewed as ceiling, keeping prices from rising higher. So as you can see, the exact opposite of support is resistance, and vice versa, the exact version or opposite of resistance is support. Let's have a whiteboard illustrations. After that, I will give you some scenarios and then we move to the types of support. Okay, so per the definition, it said support is a point or an area where falling prices, right? So if price is falling like that on the charts, support is a point where the price stopped, right? Where the price actually stopped and then change direction, right? Okay, so we are only looking at support now. Okay, so let's have an illustration. If you could remember when we were discussing market structure, I told you guys we discussed, I think, the uptrend and downtrend and also the sideways. So let's look at the sideways market now. If price is moving like this, right, within a defined structural levels, right, where are the points here where price reaches, stop falling further, and then decides to change direction? We are actually going to use two stones to kill like 2 or 3 birds here, so take note and ride with me. You can see that at this point price stopped falling, right, and decide to change direction. Same thing applies to this guy here, to this guy, this, and that. You see that? So all these levels, right, all these levels where price stopped, right, it hit it, it bounced back, hit and then bounced back, hit and bounce back, right? All these levels. Okay, let me draw these guys again. Oh my god, sorry guys, oh my god. So all these levels where price bounced, reversed, bounced, reversed, you see that all these levels are what we can term as our support, right? Our support or floor. The best way for you to understand it faster is referring to it as the floor, right? Now what about this section here? You see here price was actually rising, right? It reaches this level here and then decides to stop and then reverse direction. Same thing also applied here. So this level at the top here is what we call the resistance, the ceiling on the price chart, right? So let's look at this movement. So imagine price moving this way, right? We are in an uptrend and price is moving like this, right? We have the impulsive moves, the corrective, impulsive, corrective. So where is our support? Where can we identify our support? So any point, any zone on this chart where price reached, right, when it was falling, like this guy here, you can easily identify that here price was falling. It reached this, price price reached this level here, decided to stop and then bounce back, right? So we can, sorry, oh my god, sorry, let me draw this guy again. So price is moving like this in an uptrend, right? In an uptrend, right? So all these points, you see here, price was falling, it reached this point and decided to shoot or reverse upwards. Same thing applies here, same applies here, here, and also for here we can't consider it now, we'll get to that level, right? So literally we can mark all these levels as our support. What about the resistance? All these sections or zones or spots here where price was actually going up, right, but decided to reverse. If we are marking our resistance level, we can mark all these guys, all these places where price reached, or these places that prevented price from going further up and compelled them to reverse or return back down as our resistance level. So we have our resistance and then our supports. I hope I am making sense here. All right, so let's look at a downtrend. When price keeps moving an impulsive move downwards, a corrective upwards, downwards, upwards, downwards, like that, right? This is what or where we say we are in a downtrend. So in a downtrend, how can we mark our support and resistance? First, let's mark the support. You see this guy here, you see this guy, right? You see this guy here, price was coming downwards, it reached this guy here and then decided to stop and move upwards, right? So this is a support. We have another support here, we have another support and then another one here, right? And also another one here. So we can literally mark all these guys as our support. Please, this support and resistance that we are doing today, if you will take it serious, you are going to be a profitable trader. Trust me, because this is the strategy even most professional traders use, and always almost many more trading strategies are built around this sexy this salient content, guys. So take support and resistance very serious, right? And if we are to mark our resistance, we can see price was moving up, it reached this section here and decided to come down. Same applies to this, to here, to this. You see that? So we can also mark this guy here as our resistance, right? Okay, let's move on. All right, so let's look at this support and resistance here. Let's look at this image that we have in here. Look at how price is moving, right? So when price was falling here, when price was actually falling at this level here, right, you can clearly see that price reached that level and decided to move upwards, right? Decided to move upwards. So here this guy becomes, we can mark this guy here as our support, as it has already been done in the image. The same thing applies here. Price reached this section and decide to goes up. You can see we also have our resistance levels here, right? So here where price bounced and decided to move upwards is our support. Same thing applies to this section. And where price reached and decided to return and move downwards is or are our resistance levels, right? So here I can if I am to mark my support and resistance levels, I can mark this guy as my support, sorry, as my resistance, and also this level here as well. I have support here and also support here. Resistance, resistance, support, resistance, support. This is how price moves and how support and resistance can be identified in a downtrend, right? Let's look at this one here. We also have an uptrend here. Here, look at how price is actually moving, right? You can see price is moving upwards, right? So at this support level here, at this level, price actually was moving downwards. It reached this guy here and decided to bounce back or reverse and rise upwards. Same thing applies to here, same thing applies to here. We also have the resistance levels here. These are just illustrations on a whiteboard. Let's look at something on the main chart with candlesticks, and I think it will be more clearer for you, right? So look at this image for only 10 seconds and drop it in the comment section. If there was no these black guys here, could you be able to identify the support and resistance levels? If you think you could have you could be able to do that, comment yes. Just comment yes. Drop yes in the comment section. So when we look at these images, first let's look at this guy here. Let's look at this guy here. You can clearly see that at these levels, you can see that at these levels, right, price reaches these levels, right, decide to stop going upwards and then reverse. So these guys here are our resistance levels. Same thing applies to these guys. You see what's happening here? Price reaches here, stops coming down and then moves upwards. Same applies here and then here too. Let's go here and see something. You see here, what do you also see here? Price reaches this level, decides to stop going down and moves upwards. So we have our support here or our floor at the down here and our resistance here. Same thing applies to this section also here. We have support levels and also resistance level. So what are the importance of support and resistance levels? Let's say you are on this chart, right? Let's say you are on this chart. Why is it important to identify these key zones, right? Let me actually put this guy here so we can illustrate something. Oh my god, let me cover all these guys. So if you are watching price action only here, you can clearly see that price was moving upwards. It reached this level here, and then sellers got in and then pushed price downwards. The psychology is this: we expect price, whenever price comes to this level again, we still expect sellers to enter and then push price downwards. So that's the whole idea. So if you are buying here, whenever price reaches this level, you should consider taking your profit, then exit this market. And if you want to sell, you should wait for price to come to a resistance level, and then you short the market, and then you take your profit at the floor or the next support level. So let's look at the types of support and resistance. Okay, so before we move on to um types of support and resistance, I have this image here in which some of the support and resistance levels has been marked for you. Aside those that has been marked, let's try to see if we can identify any other support and resistance level. Okay, so first let's identify some support levels. You see this point here, have you seen it? Price reached and then decided to reverse and bounce back. Same applies to this guy here, right? You see what's happening here. It does happen in almost every chart. That's why I said this concept is very important for you to grasp and then learn it well. We have same applies to this section, right? You see what's happening here, right? We have resistance levels also here, right? So this is what we mean by support and resistance, right? So if you want to enter this market by buying, all you have to do is to wait for price to reach a support level. You don't just enter. There's something you should know or you should look out for when price reaches a support level before you enter, and you get to know that when we reaches candlestick patterns, right? Okay, so let's look at something here. All right, let's try to look at the types of support and resistance levels, right? Okay, so when you are marking your support and resistance levels, there are two main types that you need to consider. We have what we call the major support levels and also the minor support levels. They are all supposed to be considered, right? They are all supposed to be considered, but you should know the differences and what action you should take, right? So let's look at something here. Price was moving upwards. It reached this level here and decides to come down. When it was coming down, you see this guy prevented price from falling small. Look at something here. You see these guys, right? They all support price from falling, so they are all support. But what happened when they were able to push price a bit upwards? Price decided to break through them again, so they becomes our minor support. Though price reacted, price reversed, but they couldn't hold price. Same thing applied here, but look at what happened here. when price reached here, it made a major turn all the way up here. So when price is coming down again, you can see we also have some support here which prevented price from falling. These are all minor support. So when price reaches a minor support, oh, look at the corresponding end here. All it could do, or it did, was moving upwards small and then breaking through them. But when it reached the major support level here, look at what happened. It pushed all the way up. Same thing applies to the resistance level, right? You can see we have the major resistance here and also small resistance, which are the minor resistance level, right? I don't want to, the lesson is almost 25 minutes. Let's end at 30 minutes. Let's go to a live chat and see if we can identify some support and resistance. But what usually happens when a support is broken? Let's say you are let's say if you were to be on this chart, you have this support here, right? This support and this support, which you have already marked, right? So here, this was a support level. It or here too was a support level, right? Here it got broken. What happened? Price will head towards to the next support. And one thing you should know is the flips. Whenever a support is broken, it tends to be a resistance. Let's look at it here. Okay, so let me use this image to show you something, right? When a support is broken, it becomes resistance. Likewise, when a resistance is broken, it becomes a support. Okay, let's look at something here. You see what's happened here? We have a resistance here. It got broken, right? And then price turned back to that resistance level. Here, it becomes support. This is the resistance. It was broken and then became a support here. So here, it was preventing price from going upwards. It got broken, right? And when it was being reading right through here, price came back to test it as a support. The same thing applies to support. When a support is broken, let's say you have price coming like this, right? This is a support. When it got broken, price will come back to test it here before it moves downwards. So that's what some other people would term as demand and supply flips, or support and resistance flips. Please, we are not going to the live chat now because there's a lot we need to learn. This is the introduction, so make sure you go to your charts and try as much as possible to detect or mark out your major support and resistance levels. See you another time with another beautiful tutorial. It's Stanley One of Smart Money AI. Bye bye.